listeners, to another episode of Reality Rangers. I'm your host, Malik Fortier.
And I'm Andrew Hill. Today we're talking about the merge episode of Survivor 46. And before we start...
Survivor 46?
Sorry. I'm missing that season so bad. It's like giving me the thrills.
I'm missing it too.
Before we start, I just want to say all of our opinions are of our own and not reflective of SpiritLive or TMU. And with that out of the way, we're in mourning this episode.
Yeah, I wish it was Survivor 46, and it kind of was Survivor 46, like, with all the TIFF confessionals we got. That was the one plus that we had this episode, but basically everything else was just shrouded in sadness. Like, it was just a really sad episode, and why is that?
It felt like we were just kicking... like these great players while they were already down. And I guess, do we want to spoil why we're in all black, why we're mourning?
Yeah, first of all, spoiler alert, obviously,
Spoiler
for
warning.
episode 6 of Survivor 50 and everything else in the RTV world. But yeah, we are wearing all black and in mourning because our two Canadian mothers, Genevieve and Camilla, got booted in this blood moon bloodbath. The humanity.
I can't do it. I mean, I think the upside is we're going into the merge. We're tied on our drafts. I'm no longer behind. We're both seven
we are
players
tied.
lost.
That's true, actually.
It's kind of like a very beautiful poetic thing.
Yeah, Coach would have something to say about this. The karmic redistribution of the waves and stuff.
Right,
and
justice was served.
Yeah. Did it have to be served in this way, in such a tragic way, where we lose two Canadians? No. But, we can have them for like a Russell and Rob Redemption Island when they inevitably start Survivor Canada. That would be a fun little casting.
Right, bring
theme.
back Survivor Quebec.
Let's bring back Survivor Quebec, which is premiering in less than a week now.
Whoa, I didn't realize it was so soon.
Yes, we can get to that at the end of the episode, but Survivor Quebec and Traders Quebec are starting in less than a week.
Hell yeah.
Little interesting fact. So, okay, let's start at the top of the episode.
Yeah, so we start the episode picking right back where we left off with the Charlie Tribal Council, where they're kind of like debriefing a little bit, but we get a more focus on Jonathan and Dee, where Jonathan was one of the few left out of this vote. And obviously, like, Jonathan feels bad. I think this whole episode, like, I still don't like Jonathan, but I unfortunately have to give him, like, some props. Because,
we're giving him his 7s. Not his 10s, but his
right.
7s.
He did quite a bit of good this episode, and I think he was very open to not closing those doors. Like, he talks about how he was never blindsided on 42, which, like...
Question mark?
Yeah. You weren't blindsided because you were, like, on the outskirts of being left into the vote. But,
yeah.
Either way, he was like, this is the first time I've been blindsided. I don't want that to get to me. So he and Dee talk, and they're like, we need each other. When all of a sudden, boats pull up to each of the camps.
Okay, pull up, ho. Yeah, so
Right.
Jonathan and Dee spot the boats, and, this is the same thing for all 3 beaches. They get one person to read the letter, drop your buffs or whatever, we're all moving to the same beach. It's merge time, which... is a 17-person merge. It's never been done before. The biggest merge in at least U.S. Survivor.
Yeah, we said last week it's more people than the total amount of people from the first few seasons. Like, this is a lot. It's kind of overwhelming, and you can tell when they all get together, it's like they don't even know what to do. There's so many connections where, like, everything is chaos. No one can talk to everyone, and like you're unfortunately going to have to leave some people out. And so we get a few scenes of like people kind of going around telling each other about their advantages. Beforehand, Ozzy tells Christian and Emily about his idol and kind of locks in a 3 there.
But honey, that information spreads faster than Ozzy's STDs. Like, it gets to everyone on the island in the matter of minutes. Like, it's just like an information frenzy.
Yeah.
And that's not the only advantage that gets spread around, right?
No, that one doesn't get spread by Christian or Emily, though. That 3 seems to be relatively locked in because they're the only 3 who have gone to every tribal council.
True.
But Ozzy, I think, who was it that
Was
leaked?
it Sari? Loki, was Sari being messy?
It probably was Sari, because we then see Sari tells Genevieve about Aubrey's idol, and Genevieve spreads it to every person on the camp, like literally everyone, and then everyone else spreads it to everyone. So in a matter of like probably just an hour, both idols are like very public knowledge.
But the third idol, we see Genevieve play this pretty well. She talks to Rizzo and she's like, wait, do you have an idol? Like, I don't know, like, where's the third idol? Knowing full well she sent it to Rizzo. And so she kind of wants to conceal the fact that it's her boomerang idol, so that if Rizzo inevitably got out, it would go to her and no one would know. I think that's a great play.
I think both of them kind of perfectly played this, because Genevieve, she has one idol that everyone knows about that she could get back, but she also has this secret one which is just for her. And I think she both perfectly played it in that she made sure Rizzo didn't think that it was her, so that Rizzo wouldn't target her. But also, Rizzo did very well because he thought that... I think he kind of lucked into it, but he thought Genevieve sent it, and he was correct. But if he had thought anyone else, it would have spread like wildfire. So it's perfect because Genevieve is the only person who wouldn't tell everyone because it's her own idol. And... you know, so that means that the people who know about this secret idol are Genevieve, Rizzo, and Sari. And then Sari tells Ozzy, which this is so...
This is one of the best trios I've ever seen. And Sari actually... Sari says the most funny thing I think I've ever heard her say in a confessional. She says that she's poly. I want y'all to hear this from her lips. Let's play the video of her calling herself poly with Ozzy and Rizzo, because I didn't think I would ever in all my years of life hear this thing.
Poly want an idol. That's all I have to say.
Wait, let's market that.
But once he told me that, and he was like, I want to lock in with you and Ozzy, I did tell him about the extra vote.
Yeah. So only
Yeah.
only us three know.
Rizzo and Ozzy share the same place in my heart. I'm in a poly relationship now with Rizzo and Ozzy.
Yeah, that scene is just... Sari has always been a great confessionalist, but this is... like, I would have never in my entire years living on this earth expected Sari to say, I'm in a poly relationship, especially when Ozzy is a part of it.
Right. I mean, if you're going to be in a poly relationship with anyone, it maybe shouldn't be Ozzy, but, you know... I just love this Challengers reference, this Survivor Challengers crossover. But I think it really does speak to, like, Sari was giving a really good confessional after that. She was saying how she was adapting to that new era style of gameplay. And I think, like, that's why she's such a great player, is, like, not a lot of these old schoolers are good at, like, transferring to the new era, but she has flowed seamlessly.
Oh, yeah. She has another confessional later where she talks about the fact that, like, the old school players are, like, playing... like, if you betray me, you're dead to me. And it's like, they have to catch up to this new era play where, like, you still should, like, she's always kind of played like this, but you should always keep your options open from the people that betrayed you, because your target, or your focus shouldn't be to, like, get revenge. It should be to make it to the next day. And whatever means that is best for you, do that.
Exactly.
So yeah, we get a few other moments. We get, like, Christian and Rick meet up with Aubrey finally and tell her about they sent the idol. Like, this was something that I thought was going to be a lot bigger of a moment, but it was very, like, brushed aside.
Yeah.
We get, like, you know, the poly relationship was funny.
There's, like,
the old school
different...
alliance is shown a lot, like, growing between, like, Jonathan, Chrissy, Stephanie,
Joe.
Colby, Coach. Ozzy a little bit, like, Ozzy's saying, like, to Colby and I think Jonathan, like, you guys are safe, I got you.
Yeah, Ozzy is playing the field for sure. Like, good on him.
Ozzy is, like, playing all cylinders, and I think he seems to be more likely to play with the new era players, or the new, like, school players, I guess. But he's still, like... I'm shocked, because, like, this whole time we've kind of been dogging on him a little bit for his strategy, but I think he's actually, like, really playing well socially, and people aren't I mean, it's really early. We don't know. But
I mean, he's in one of the best positions right now, I would say.
He has an idol. He has the person who would have voted him out for that idol is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of alliances. Like, he's doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, and we actually have another Aussie moment as there is an advantage in the jungle, and everybody starts running around. You know, I was thinking this would be kind of like what Genevieve did on 47 or Say on 48, you know, just a merge immunity challenge advantage, you know?
I love that scene from Say on 48 where,
my gosh.
who is it? Tiana was about to get it.
No, Charity.
Yeah, Charity's about to get it, and then Say bursts through the trees. Like, it feels like an AI video where, like, a person just appears out of thin air.
She's a track star.
Yeah, it's kind of glorious, but we don't get that kind of moment. We get Rizzo right next to the idol, and he kind of, like, walks past it because he's kind of just daisying around.
He's
like
confused, or he's just not really going to find it. He's nonchalant.
Yeah, right after Ozzy finds it, and lucky for Rizzo, the reward for this is you get to go to exile. Yay!
I think we actually have a clip of maybe Ozzy finding that he was really not anticipating exile.
Yeah.
And he did get it.
Right. It was quite funny to watch. So let's pull that clip up.
10 freaking years? Wow, no way. This is so cool. Hopefully it's not. You're going to exile. It's the largest merge in Survivor history. So many relationships to manage. But today, you'll put your social game on hold because you're heading to Exile Island.
Yeah.
Aussie, like a moth to a flame, like an Aussie to exile. Like, they go hand in hand.
He's probably been on exile, like, I don't know how many different seasons now.
A million times. If you can include Redemption Island as well. Like, he's been there probably more than anyone else.
Right, like, other than maybe, like, Sugar with the Sugar Shack.
Yeah, but, like, he was on exile on Cook Islands, like, twice. He was on exile on Micronesia like 3 times.
Like, he probably holds the records for most different seasons having been on exile at least once. So
and obviously, like, there was like we said, at Redemption Island, I think there was exile on 23 as well as Redemption Island, if I'm maybe. Either way, like,
that's his second home.
Yeah. So he gets to bring someone with him, though, and this was, I think, another really good moment for Ozzy. Like, he chooses probably the best possible person, where he chooses Rizzo, and Ozzy, I think this is perfect because he can lock in the 3 of Rizzo, Ozzy, Suri. And then also, Rizzo isn't going to be a target at any of those tribals, so it's not going to interfere with the challenge. Mm-hmm. And he's not going to, like, be really on either side too heavily, so you're not going to have to worry about either getting his vote or working against his vote.
Yeah, great pick from Ozzy. Like I said, this is him playing at his best. We've seen him in, like, I don't know, a few seasons now. And so I think he's got a really bright path ahead of him in this merge. Speaking of, we've got the merge immunity challenge. And this is, like, okay, Jeff... No shade to Jeff. I kind of like Jeff a little bit this season with his little, you know, impressions, and he's having fun with it. But let's just distill this twist to what it is. We basically explained it last episode. Enough of the blood moon, enough of the yada, yada, yada. 3 groups. It's basically a tribe swap merge. It's like the double tribal, but they just made it 3. There's 3 boots this episode, 3 groups of 5 going to tribal, and 1 person on each group gets immunity.
Yeah.
Simple as that. What are the tribe divisions? Let's see.
Yeah, so the purple tribe, I guess Vatu, is Genevieve, Aubrey, Christian, Devins, and Joe. So what do you think about that?
Were we really surprised that Genevieve went home in this episode? No, because she got screwed. Like, screwed with a capital S. Cindy with an S. Like, it was really that bad. Like, she had really no way out.
Yeah, let's go through, like, top 3 most screwed Survivor players ever. Like, this isn't even like you can't really do much about it. You're screwed no matter what. Like, number 1, Suri on Game Changers. I think that is, you kind of have to put Suri there. then maybe you go like...
I would go like Justin from 48.
Yeah, that one, I think maybe Justin was more to blame than like...
For his like managing of how he told Cedric, or he didn't tell Cedric.
So maybe I would put Genevieve too, because Genevieve wanted to try and work with Aubrey, and Aubrey would like shut her down immediately. So
Yeah.
like she never even got a chance to like try and make that relationship. It was kind of bizarre. And you know, 2 idols that she found had to give to other people.
One of them being her opponent got another idol.
Yeah, and then her swap tribe is her number 1 enemy, plus the 2 people that gave her the idol, and Joe.
And what are you gonna do with Joe? It's not like
Joe's not gonna try. He's Joe.
He's Joe. It's not like, you know, you're Kyle and Camilla on that swap in 48 and you can, you know, craft some little plan. No, it's Joe. You're not really playing with a big strategist here. So
Yeah.
she was kind of screwed to begin with. Okay, let's move to the other group. I'm getting a little sad.
Yeah, so let's move to the maybe a little, still really sad, but like a little alleviating. Kahlo, the Teal Cyan tribe. We have Suri, Emily, Colby, Coach, and Dee.
Love this group. This group is the key. Like,
this one was very fun, and I think like there was unfortunately a bit of like kind of doomed to fail with this like outcome, but I really liked the strategy that went into it because we didn't say before, Christian won immunity on the previous one, which made it even worse for Genevieve. For this one, Dee won immunity, which I think she was safe no matter what. But
yeah, it was just also nice to, like, you know, have another immunity win, because she's known as this immunity beast. So this is like just further cementing her legacy.
For sure. I think it was kind of obvious that the 3 was going to be Suri, Dee, and Emily. You know, Suri and Dee formed a very tight alliance last episode. Emily and Dee, like the 45 people, are like obnoxiously close outside of the game.
They're like second behind 47 as like the closest New Era cast, I'm guessing.
And then, you know,
Emily and Suri were on the same starting tribe and they were close. So like they were never going to go against each other.
Yeah. So starting, like, it kind of flipped back and forth. We knew that the boot was probably either going to be Coach or Colby. It kind of flipped back and forth a lot, where, like, we started with, I thought Colby would go. You know, he's kind of a liability a little bit, but, you know, he wouldn't really do much. He is kind of like the head of their alliance, but, you know, we haven't seen much. And I didn't know
this. From my perception, I thought Coach was more like the figurehead.
I think they see Coach as, like, their mascot. Like,
maybe.
He's just so goofy.
With the
like,
nicknames and everything.
Like, he's like the guy in the costume, like, cheering them on, and he thinks he's doing a lot more than he is, but he's just, like, under the suit. Whereas I think Colby had those, like, actually really close bonds, and maybe he wouldn't be the strategic player, but he was, like, what brought everyone together.
Yeah, like, you know, Dee and Emily were really wanting to just vote Coach out and hope that and pray that Colby got medevac because of his foot.
And why did they want Coach to be voted out, though? Do you remember?
Because he... Oh, okay. Coach did tell Dee that Emily was going for him.
Right.
Or was going for her, which we don't know if she actually said that.
It doesn't seem like it, though. It wouldn't be something that Emily would say. Maybe she'd say it just because she wants to brush Coach off, and she's like, yeah, Dee's a winner, whatever. But... this is so funny to me because he immediately realizes, oh, I fucked up when I said that.
Yeah, he says, like, his confessional, he's literally putting his sandy foot in his mouth saying, like, okay, I need to do better.
Right, and so they're like, we need to get Coach out, but Suri, master manipulator that she is, decides, no, that, like, Coach is such a, like, non-factor where, like, watch his previous seasons, he's always, like, at the forefront of everything, but he doesn't do anything.
Right.
So, like,
it was a good read from her. Even I was, like, not receptive to him. Like, Suri, what are you doing? Like,
and I still don't know if it was the right decision, but I think Suri did really good here because she was kind of, like, scathing a little bit, but in a, like, entertaining way where Dee and Emily didn't care. Like, they were like, yeah, I guess we should vote out Colby.
Like, she gets her way time and time again, and you're supposed to tell me this isn't, like, the best player right now? Like, no.
Especially now, one of her closest allies is the person who 3 episodes ago said, my friend told me I needed to get out Suri.
And now they're, like, thick as thieves.
Yeah, they're besties.
They're besties.
So, unfortunately, Colby is the one to go here. I think of that, like, strength alliance, I wanted Colby to go the furthest. I think he had such a, like, rejuvenation, and I liked him a lot more this season than any other season he's played, but the cards weren't in his favor.
And it was, like, an emotional tribal council for, like, a different reason than the other two.
I think,
like,
'cause
it was a closing chapter for his Survivor career.
For a lot of these, like, older players, they're not going to get another chance. Like, especially probably Coach Colby, like, Stephanie, probably Suri.
Probably
like,
Suri,
I think this is probably Suri's swan song. So, like, they were very emotional, like, having to vote out one of these players for the first time. Maybe, I guess, Jenna, but, like, you know.
And them not being on the jury as well.
Right. Like, having to exclude them from the jury right before is just kind of heartbreaking. But there wasn't much other, like, option.
Right. No, you're not going to go for the mother, the holy trinity of D. Emily and Suri.
Right.
But unfortunately, we didn't have such a great outcome for the last little group. The last little group was it the orange group?
Yeah, Sela.
They were comprised of, let me get this right, Stephanie, Jonathan, Chrissy, Tiff, and Camilla.
Yes.
Since Stephanie was the last person overall to last on the challenge, it was the little one you see, like, where you, like, put your hands against the walls that, like, Savannah won last.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. Since Stephanie lasted the longest, and Chrissy, like, they were the two that lasted the longest, that group won an Applebee's Sanctuary Award, where good things happen.
We bring it up, like, every episode, but, like, they'll never be Liz.
They'll never be Liz. Like, I count this as a second Liz mention on Survivor 50. But there was no bourbon burger. What was the bourbon burger? They had a bourbon steak and a bacon burger. Where's the bourbon burger?
The Bourbon Street mushroom Swiss burger.
I didn't even think about that.
I think Liz would have, like, swam all the way to Fiji if she smelt a bourbon burger on that island. But, they won, and, like, this is Tiff's, like, 400th visit to the sanctuary. Like, she's catching up to Julie Alley.
Or Eva on 48, like, getting
literally,
every award.
like, the most full, satiated 3 people in Survivor New Era. But, what do we think of this? What do we think of this little grouping?
Yeah, this was, like, I think my least favorite tribal, but it was the most dynamic in terms of, like, not knowing what the outcome was going to be. I think, obviously, we had Tiffany and Camilla. They had their alliance from...
I'm going to have to interrupt you real quick. Yeah. Trump has an announcement, and so we're going to have to actually put this podcast on pause. And, we'll be back in 20 minutes. What was that? What was that? And we didn't even get it because we're in Canada.
Yeah,
I had a Border Patrol episode.
Last time they did this during the finale of 49, they had it play, and so I was, like, expecting it, and it was so bizarre. They had a Border Patrol, like, I don't know, it was like a
rerun or something.
I don't even know what the show is. Like, I'll see it occasionally when, like, SNL is late to start. I think they do it as, like, a
filler.
Like, in case, like, there's time delays or something. They just put that in there because it's, I don't know. But it's, I don't...
Sorry for interrupting.
No,
somebody just had to say it. It had to be said.
Yeah, and it ruined my recording. I had to, like, because I had to watch the episode late. It cut off the recording, so I only watched the first tribal, and then it cut off and ended. So I had to, like, go, like, find a recording online to figure out, like watch the rest of it. It was so frustrating.
Like, he ruins everything. But so, okay, let's go back. So the group, Stephanie has immunity. They go fill their stomachs up with bourbon burgers and steaks and chicken wings.
Bourbon burgers.
Not bourbon burgers. No, triple bacon burgers. And then it's time for the scramble. And we would assume that the Kahlo 3 from the original Kahlo, that's those New Era players, Tiffany, Camilla, and Jonathan, would just pick off the other player that doesn't have immunity. Chrissy. Where's Chrissy? Who's Chrissy?
Who?
Let's make Chrissy the plan. No.
Yeah. This... it starts off that way. Camilla and Tiffany are obviously, like, pretty close. They had their alliance in the original tribes. But Jonathan, I think, was probably felt a little too betrayed from last episode. They didn't do like enough work to like remend those relationships, and I think Jonathan kind of like he was the swing position between Camilla and Tiffany and Chrissy and Stephanie.
Yeah.
But I think what really sold it wasn't really Jonathan's decision, which I think, you know, either way, it's probably fine for him.
Yeah.
But Chrissy especially, and somewhat Stephanie, really do way more work on securing Jonathan's vote more than Tiffany and Camilla.
We actually have a video of Chrissy's confessional at this scramble, and it was like one of her first confessionals, and I don't know, we're going to pull up the confessional chart later in the episode, but this is her, like, breakout, even if it's just one confessional. And yeah, I was really gagged by this confessional.
It was awesome.
Unfortunately awesome.
Survivor 50 has been a lot of redemption for me. It has really helped me heal a lot of old wounds.
All right, Chrissy, what's on your mind?
And so when I sit down with both Camilla and Tiffany, I tell them the exact same thing, which is, if you vote for me, I know why you do, and I don't take it personally. Okay. I let them know that if tonight is my last night in the game, I really just want it to go out joyfully. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
What a, like, unfortunately, this resulted in such a awful Camilla boot, but Chrissy is kind of an icon. Like, this is why I think she was so good merge onward in Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. But, like, you know, we don't get to see that much of Chrissy, so when we get to see her, she's, like, I feel like she's just kind of, like, I don't... She's an icon. That's all I can say.
It's like an unfortunate icon. Like,
right.
I would have loved to see her if this was her, like, ending any other player but Camilla and Tiff. Like,
but, like, I guess she has decent reasoning. Like, she saw Camilla, like, being so, like, sneaky, so, like, conniving on 48. She just watched it, and it kind of, like, dictated what happened in that, like, why she chose them.
Yeah.
I don't know if she would have chosen Tiffany, but, like...
It was a mirror them kind of thing, and so obviously I get that self-preservation, but just the only thing that, like, prevents me from calling Chrissy mother is, like, I kind of was getting, like, a raised eyebrow every time she went up to Stephanie and Jonathan said, you know, we're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I was like, what cloth is that? Is that a Confederate flag? Like, like, what does that mean?
I think it gets to a point where, like, if my mother, who watches the show but isn't, like, a super fan, just watches it casually, is asking me, like, what do they mean by that? Like, is this some... Like, I got texts from her about it. It's like... I think it feels just so weird.
Like, they're obviously not going to show them saying anything like that outright, but I'm like, what makes Tiff and Camilla not cut from the same cloth? Is it being sneaky? Like, I'm sure we were all sneaky on our original seasons.
They're just like, we just play the right way. Like, we play with honor.
And honor, integrity. And then you have Jonathan in the confessional saying, well, you get to the end and you play with honor and integrity and you don't get a vote. I learned this from my season or whatever. Like, not that he made it to the end. But, like...
But he saw Mike.
But he saw Mike not getting really any votes, and it's true, and I appreciate that he's learning from that.
I think
Joe can take a lesson.
Yeah. The thing with Jonathan is, like, I don't want to like him, and I don't like him.
I don't like
but
him.
But there is moments where it's like, I wish he was a better person just because he has some, like I don't know. It's
he can
him
cause
saying
drama. He's funny. He has
right.
some strategic moments.
And I think some of the unfortunate stuff is just, like, well, the main thing is, like, he's probably a bad person. Like,
yeah,
he was really shitty to a lot of people on 42. But, you know, like, he seems to, like, be, like, Joe, as if Joe was kind of, like, meaner, but also more, like... he has a better thought process about the game.
Yeah, he's a bit more.
He's willing
savvy.
to change. He still just didn't change. Like, he knows why he needs to change.
He's
he just
more
doesn't
David
do it.
than Joe.
Yes.
David from 48, I think, would be like
that's
an apt
a
comparison.
really good comparison. Yeah.
And so, you know, it's unfortunate that he wakes up and is like, okay, well, I got to go for my old Call Alliance, because Camilla goes home, and I love her reaction. She immediately to Tiff is like, drag his name through the mud.
It was so funny. I think Camilla is, like, I don't know if there's a world where Camilla returns again, and that is so unfortunate because she is one of the great confessionalists that we're going to miss out on. Like, we didn't get to see much of her, but every time we see her, she's so funny, so, like, scathing, and it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Literally, you had Chrissy quoting her. That's how iconic her confessionals are, even just after playing, like, the whole, like, driving the bus and backing it up. Like, she gave us confessional gold. Same thing for Genevieve. Like, Genevieve, we actually forgot to mention in her boot, she played her shot in the dark, and it didn't hit. And she said this line, it was like, what are the odds of Christian wanting to flip and work with me? Is it more than 1 in 6? And I'm like, ugh, like, I wish we could have more of that.
Those analyses, those thought processes are so fun to, like, watch, and we aren't going to see, like, there's other players who do that kind of thing, but, like, the more that they get voted out, the less we see of it. And I think, at least with Genevieve, I think she's kind of guaranteed for another return at some point.
Oh, for sure. Like, especially if the production is looking at all these people on social media. And it's a little biased because a lot of them are Gen stands, but them saying, like, oh, she's the most screwed player, she's screwed.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to be like, okay, maybe she should come back.
It's unfortunate that this wasn't her first season because she would have been, like, the poster child for, like, second chances, too. But I don't think that subtracts from her returning at any point. Because, she is kind of, like, the production loves her.
She got a great edit.
Yeah, she got a great edit for being, 16th place. Like, it was really fun to watch Genevieve, as per usual.
And she also...
Sorry, I just want to say, maybe we'll see her on Traders Canada.
Oh.
That's my number one pick now for Traders Canada next season. Maybe
her threat level's lower?
Yeah. Her or maybe, like, Caleb, I would like to see.
Yeah, those two would be so fun. Like, or just, like, anyone from BB Can. Like, we need more BB Can crumbs.
We need
in the drought.
Spicy V
and Dougie. Yeah, but let's go to our grades. Let's go to our letter grades. Yeah. How do we want to start this? Do we want to start it with my draft now?
You lost 2 people, so let's start it with yours.
Okay, so with Tiff, I wanted to give Tiff a good grade because she, like, apparently she, like, quadrupled her confessional count.
Yeah, she went from 2 confessionals in 5 episodes to 8 in 6.
So good for her, but I gave her a B.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much she could do here other than maybe, like, win immunity. I was thinking she was going to win this immunity, but I forgot, like, Stephanie and Chrissy are, like, beasts in their own right, so...
I think a little more critical. I really wanted to give her a better grade, but she didn't do much. Like, she had a lot of good confessionals, but she didn't really do much of anything to try and secure Jonathan. Camilla, like, was the only one kind of trying.
Which, if anyone was going to sway him back, it should have been her because she wasn't part of the people that blindsided him.
For sure. And I think that kind of, like, I was deciding between C+, B-. I gave her a B- just because, like, I think she's still, like, in a fine position. I don't see a world where, like, she's going to be targeted.
She just couldn't help that she wasn't cut from the same cloth. Yeah. But speaking of cloth, she was sporting a Kenzie buff bow.
Yeah, it was...
So at least she got blindsided in style.
Great reference. At least she wasn't voted out like that. Maybe it's a sign she'll win.
Maybe. It's like her, like, Rachel Lamont Annika moment. And, you know, Jonathan is Andy, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't really compare.
That's an awful comparison.
But yeah, let's move on to Aubrey, who, I don't know, I gave her an A+. She won the war. She won the war. Like, she didn't even have to play her Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. Like, that's a win in her books.
I gave her an A for 2 reasons. One, she was probably one of the luckiest people out of this tribe draw. I have her as a lucky A.
Yeah.
But also, she said to Christian that she was going to play her idol, and when she didn't, Christian seemed kind of upset at her.
Yes, I did notice that.
So I don't know how that's going to affect her game moving forward, but she still played very well. She got very good outcome, so I gave her an A.
Yeah, next up we have Genevieve. I gave her, like, a B-, because, like, she did everything she could have done. She tried to, you know, work with Joe. She tried to flip Christian. She played her shot in the dark. She did every logical thing that we always yell at the screen, like, oh, you should have done that on your boot. And she did it, and it didn't work out.
She did exactly what she needed to, but she got screwed over again and again and again, and they just kept kicking her. I gave her an unlucky B-.
Mm-hmm. Now Stephanie, I gave an A+. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Like, her alliance is growing, I guess. Like, she's got Jonathan with her.
But she also
won
just
immunity.
lost 2 people. She lost Genevieve and Colby.
Do you think Genevieve would have solidly stood with that alliance? Though I think she would have flipped to the other side.
I think she would have been fine. Like, I could see her working the middle, but she would be more likely to stick with that alliance because, you know, that was her like starting lines. She was very tight with Colby and and Stephanie. And also, like, Aubrey still being here. I guess if Aubrey was voted out, maybe not.
Yeah.
But, like, Aubrey still being there makes it difficult to work with the other side. Like,
this is
focused.
True. What did you give Steph?
I gave Stephanie a B+. I thought she did fine, but, like, we didn't really see much of her, so I didn't really know what to give her other than, like, the fact she did good work with Jonathan. So, like...
Yeah, and most of my ratings don't encompass the edit, because or else I would have not given an Aubrey an A+, because like we didn't see her like triumphant. Yes, I got Aubrey out, or like yes, I get to reunite with my my friends Devins and Christian, and
we really didn't see much of Aubrey, even though she should have been like the focus of the merge.
Yeah. So we just saw her info get leaked. Like that was not great for her.
Yeah. So
D?
Next up, D. A+. It's without explanation. Like she dominated this episode, and I don't think she's going home anytime soon.
And I would say now, without a doubt, like it was already last episode, I would say without a doubt, but she's the best player of the new era. That's I'm sticking my flag. Not just best winner, like best player. Like
I will agree. I think Kyle has to return and prove himself for it to be a competition again. Because,
even a competition, yeah.
Right, because Kyle probably was set up better than D at the start, but I'm only counting his first season. Like this season doesn't count.
Right.
Next up, Coach. I gave a C-. Like
I gave a B- because I not that he did anything to save himself. I'm actually gonna give him a C+. Because he didn't do anything to save himself.
I think he kind of made the wrong decision at like every point, but he at least had like the perception of Suri.
Yeah.
Or like Suri's perception of him was enough to not get voted out. So that's like, I didn't give him a D, I gave him a C-, but like he lied to D for no reason and it almost screwed him. He was in the minority. He lost 2 allies.
And I just don't know if this, but the thing I don't want to give him too low is, maybe I'm thinking to edit now, I don't know if this is just because they love Coach, but like, even when he does something wrong, it feels like, oh, it's like a learning moment. Like when he said, like, I think I said too much. I got to make sure I don't do that again. Right. That's the sign of like, oh, he's going far and we're showing his arc and his growth, even though it feels like every season for the last 3 seasons has been, oh, it's his growth. Oh, it's his arc.
And I think, on the next time on that we saw, Coach was kind of like the center of the next episode as far as we know. So that could either mean he gets voted out next episode or he has a really good episode. We don't know. Next up, Colby. I gave an unlucky C+.
Unlucky B-, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed over, didn't have a vote. He was on, like, he had the minority in this swap tribe. Like,
he gave a good pitch to D, though.
I think that was the thing that brought his up for me, was the fact that he had a really good pitch for D, and I think that almost swayed her.
Yeah. If only it wasn't for Suri doing a good a pitch against Colby, I think the two of them would have just like gone and made it almost a 2-2 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So next up, Ozzy.
A?
Yeah, I gave an A-. I think he did a lot of good work. He's still like, I'm still not sure on where Ozzy's at, but like this episode, I think he kind of played a little perfectly. We just didn't get to see much of any of him because he was on Exile.
Yeah.
But even like beforehand, during Exile, like he did everything right.
Yeah. Next up with Rick, I gave him like the biggest jump I think out of everyone, and he went from a C+ last episode to an A.
I don't remember what I gave him last episode. I gave him an A-. He like didn't really do much, and he technically could have been the vote.
Yes.
But there was no way Christian was gonna flip. So like,
I did like, however, his apprehension of putting it all on Genevieve. Like I like how he's thinking. They showed his thinking to be pretty sound.
He did a really good job of like bringing the option open of possibly voting Joe. Like there was a lot that Rick did right, but I think there were a few things that like were a bit like missteps, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's move on to my draft.
Yeah, your draft now. What do you give Christian?
Sorry, there's a Joker behind me.
Yeah, we've got some photo bombers.
These scoundrels. Okay. Anyway.
I gave Christian an A.
Christian, I got an A as well. Like, I think it was better than last episode. I'm still worried about like people targeting him now that we're at like an actual official merge. But he has a lot of allies. I don't think, unless he gets idled out, I think he's fine for a bit.
Yeah. Next up, the second I gave D 2 A+ in a row, I'm giving Suri 2 A+ in a row.
Yeah, Suri got an A+ from me. Great job all around. Didn't really have like any missteps. She was able to sway the vote from Coach to Colby. Didn't have to worry about being voted out. Did a great job.
Rizzo, I gave an A because like didn't do anything this episode, but he also was in a good enough position to get brought to exile. So
I gave him a lucky A-. He got very lucky with the exile, and so we didn't really see much of him in the second half of the episode. But he did really well with connecting with Ozzy and Suri. He still has D, not Camilla anymore, but you know, like he has a lot of connections. He still has Zeidel, and most people don't know about it except for Genevieve, who doesn't immediately want to vote him out. Well, no, she's gone. What am I saying?
Yeah.
She's eliminated. So no one knows except for his alliance members.
Yes, and that makes me wonder, like, if he gets voted out with the idol, it's gone.
Yeah.
The boomerang goes into the void.
Right. It goes back to Billie Eilish.
Exactly, and she gets to... Well, we don't know where she is.
Say something about it. How have you not mentioned it?
I'm giving up on you. Okay, I was wrong. My biggest jump is actually from Chrissy. I don't know if she deserves an A+, but she went from a C+ to an A+. And
she got an A+ from me
in brackets reluctantly because it happened at the expense of Camilla. But
yeah, I had her at an A. I brought her up to an A+ because like she was the reason that Jonathan flipped. I think. I hate to give her an A+ just because it was Camilla that went. She did really well though.
Joe, I went from A to B-. He didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, Joe B-.
But he was in on the majority vote. I was surprised
I think that
he
was
did
just because he knew Genevieve was going and Genevieve played her shot in the dark. Like
maybe
I think
she told him ahead of time.
Yeah, I think that they didn't show the full picture of like she was probably. Like, everyone knew she was doomed, and her attempt, like, probably was public knowledge.
Yeah, and she did bring it up at Tribal Council that she had a lot of enemies, so it was kind of cut and dry.
Camilla, C+. I think maybe that's too hot. You know what? I'm going to say C, because, like, I think she did well, even though she got voted out. I think she did do pretty well up until the Tribal, where... she just didn't do much with Jonathan, but she was still trying, unlike Tiffany.
My thing is, and I feel like I would be in this same exact position as a Camilla, I would not know what to say to convince Jonathan. Like, there is nothing you can tell that guy that's going to convince him.
Yeah. Last two. Emily, I gave a B+. Like,
I gave an A.
She was just there. Like, she did well, but she didn't really do too much. And Jonathan... unfortunately, I gave an A.
Yeah, I also gave an A to him as well, from a C-. So
we got only a minute or two left, so let's quickly go through. Let's do Tweet of the Week, I think.
Okay, Tweet of the Week. Let's show... I want
to show one.
Yes, let's show yours.
Before the... not that one. It was before the episode even aired. It was a few days ago I saved this one because Genevieve was... kind of just doomed here. Yeah, that one. Genevieve was very unfortunately doomed, and so it says Genevieve fans don't even try to tell you she's winning the season anymore. They just look at you like this. And
we've gone a long way from all the first boot allegations, at least.
Yeah, that I think was I'm so glad that she was at least the last boot of the pre-merge. And I will say, speaking on spoilers, because there was only one legitimate spoiler that I knew about that I saw beforehand but didn't look at until I knew it was done.
Yeah.
The Redmond Survivor, it stopped at the final 14.
Okay.
So I vaguely knew, but I couldn't remember. I just didn't want to look at it. Now, no clue. We do not know a single hint of who's going to go home from here on out.
We just know who's skinny.
Yeah. Doesn't mean a win, though.
Doesn't mean a win. It could just mean maybe he got tapeworm or something.
Yeah. So then My other tweet that I chose is another Genevieve tweet. I love Mother Vive.
From none other than King.
Genevieve's husband, Mark. Yeah, that one. This is a wonderful tweet that just says, if only she had an idol, she could have played at Tribal.
So simple yet so true and so devastating. Okay, I'm just gonna end off with my last tweet, my tweet of the week. I have two, but the first one will suffice.
Yeah.
Just like, we need it to happen. We need it to happen. We saw it on the next time on that like Tiffany is going to go like all hell to pay with Jonathan, and she's gonna like call him out like Camilla told her. I just please,
Tiffany, tell Jonathan he has to go. I'm begging you, Tiff.
I'm begging you, please. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Enough Jonathan endings for one episode. Yeah. We thank you for watching and listening. And do you have any final words, Andrew?
I'm still mourning. We were like happy, but now that we're done talking, I'm like I remember why I was sad. And
yeah, just so tragic. Let's have a moment of silence as we fade off.
No music.
No music.
No, I'm kidding.
We can play the music.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next
week.
time.
Bye.